Cool. All right. So maybe I'll just turn my video back on because it makes more sense because then it's just a black screen. Okay. So for the Burke, his writing about beauty, a lot of it, what we talked about was kind of how it's a lot about submissive, and like the beauty that he talks about is more delicate.
I think it's quite me.
Okay, Kimberly lost it. You joining again?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Kimberly's back. It's all good.
But I was like 2. I don't understand why.
Hello?
Hey, Amelia.
Hey, Amelia.
Hello? You guys see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Dahine whaka ofa, eh? Doesn't matter, we'll figure it. Okay, Kimberly's going to keep going.
Yeah, here. I'm not been now. I'm a hello. I'm not. I took one. I'm now. I'm not. Be where you be now. Where? Ôi đâu có cô over đi cô tụ phụ mẹ ai over đi cô ngáo rồi bà over đi.
Amelia, when you talk, it comes through the whole, it comes through everyone's.
Well, sorry, I didn't know it's...
No, it's okay.
What?
It's okay. So when, so just put, see when it's like we are going to have turns to talk, see the microphone button with the line?
Mm-hmm.
Just click it, and then when you want to talk, click it again, so then you can speak. So when someone else is talking, you click it, so it's red, the microphone.
So when I needed to talk, and then I just click it.
Eo.
Oh,
It's kind of hard, I know.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're gonna try to help each other. So for now, just click the microphone button.
Okay, I'll click it now.
Eo.
I'll click it now. Okay.
Yep. And that means we won't be able to hear you if it's red.
Okay. It's not red, it's still yellow.
Oh, click it so it's red. No? Okay, it's okay. Just when someone else is talking, just we try to make it so there's not much noise coming in the microphone then. So Kimberly's gonna speak again, and then we're gonna start talking about the readings.
Okay.
Okay, and so I found with Kant, his writing, so it's a lot of like the way that he defines beauty, it's more of individualized, and so it says there are other kinds of interests beyond those presently to be mentioned. So he's saying that even though he's defining beauty, there's so many different ways that you can define it, which I thought was really interesting, in that the way that he defined beauty wasn't like a certain set way. It said that beauty is not logical, but it's aesthetical. And so in that sense, that beauty is more found by like the emotional response that you have to it. Like it's not a set thing, because my reaction to something could be different than anybody else's. But as long as my emotional connection to it finds it beautiful, then that's the way it is, which is dissimilar to Burke's, because his is about like edges and like talked about like softness. But then also in Burke's, he talked about beauty, and like as long as beauty's like useful to, like in its sense, then that's what makes it beautiful too. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know what you guys thought.
Yeah, that was that's pretty solid. Do you want to go, Daniel?
Yeah, sure.
Just talk about what you learned.
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I liked when he was kind of giving example of what is not beauty. Like he was talking about fitness and perfection and stuff like that. Let me see my notes. So he was talking about how like the usefulness of something and beauty are not the same thing, and they're not dependent on each other. So he gave an example of like the organs in our body. They're super useful and they do their job very well. But just because they're useful doesn't mean they're beautiful. Like they're not appealing and they're not beautiful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Okay. And then another interesting point I thought he made was when he was talking about perfection. He was saying that perfection is higher in females, and it carries with it like an idea of kind of like weakness. And he was talking about how girls would learn to lisp or walk kind of funny or act sick. And it's kind of like the damsel in distress situation, like that beauty is, what am I trying to say? Like beauty in distress is the most effective type of beauty, basically.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. We lost Amelia again. We'll just keep going. I'm gonna email the teacher and let her know that we're having some difficulties, and Amelia will just keep coming in and out, and that's okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Amelia, you're back. You can hear us? Okay. I'll have a turn and just share some of the things I learned. Some of the questions, like before we started, is like, do you agree and do you not agree with the readings? That's like, I printed it off. And
So weird.
can you hear us, Amelia? Okay, I'll just keep going. But basically, yeah, it's one of the questions was how are Kant and Burke similar or different? And I don't know, I didn't really know how to answer that question because I didn't fully understand the way that Kant was talking about things. But what I did find interesting is how Kant refers to different kinds of delight, like referring to delight a lot. And he talks about it says here in this paragraph, the agreeable, the beautiful, and the good denote three different relations of representations to the feeling of pleasures and displeasure. So it was like, what I got from that is like the way that you interpret, similar to what Kimberly was saying, but the way that you interpret something and the way that you view something is based on whether or not you're going to see it as being beautiful. And he like goes as far to explain that if you're on an island and you built this beautiful building that he referred to in the first couple of paragraphs, is it going to be beautiful? And it was all dependent on your senses, on the way that you interpret it, and everything else. Whereas the comparison with Burke was talking about like smoothness of edges. You know, there's a paragraph, a section there that was talking about beautiful objects as being small, talking about smoothness, also talking about gradual variation, delicacy. I thought it was really interesting with Burke. He referred to as like delicacy. He made a reference to a greyhound and then a mastiff. And so when we look at the greyhound, we're like, yeah, it's like, it's delicate, it's elegant. But then a mastiff is just like, you know, like big and kind of the opposite to that. So I think in some ways they're both talking about how you interpret beauty. We're talking about two different ideas of the way that you're going to interpret beauty, but it's how you interpret that beauty and I guess your knowledge and understanding determines what is beautiful. And, you know, Burke's, as we said, the smoothness and everything, whereas Kant's talking about a whole bunch of different things. And to be honest, just for Emily, when she watches this discussion, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever read in the English language.
What?
Yeah. Just that was really, really hard for me to understand. It was almost a different language, but I did get some things out of it. So, Amelia, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome. Did you want to share some things that stood out to you from the readings of Burke and Kant?
Just the similarities that I can find from the reading, that it's they both, Kant and Burke, are trying to define and explain beauty.
Yep.
And there are criteria or a way to judge or a way to classify something that is or is not beauty. And then like Burke, he says that he was mentioning about the smooth is beautiful, and also Kant is like taste is something is delight. There are some differences that I can find from this reading. Is about the, even though this reading is so hard, that is ideas. Kant ideas is more out for individual interpretation, like how you guys say that you can. It just depends from your own point of view how you define it. Like what he says, it's agreeable to me. This applies not only to the taste of the tongue, the plates, and so forth on our notes. And but Burke, it's about stimuli, like gratifies, getting your eyes, and like pleases, feeling good, like the esteems, or like the example, if you are wearing clothes and you feel you are looking good, you are like beautiful in that clothes, and that's make you felt the esteem or feeling good, or that's make you beauty. Maybe that's what I can say now.
That was actually really good. I learned some things from you, Amelia. It was good. I like how you talk about the interpretation, like, was it? Yeah, Kant was talking about how it's up to your interpretation of beauty. Yeah, that was really good.
Okay, so I think something we should examine now is like how these two writings would be like thought of like today, or like how the like definition of beauty today is or is not reflected in these writings. And so something that I was really thinking about is like we always like there's like always two sides to the beauty thing. There's like that beauty is can't really characterize, especially now, like it's not something that you have the ability to either like have control over. Like you can't say something is or isn't beautiful. Like you look at like modern art and those sorts of things, like to some people like it's a blank white canvas with a red dot on it, but to other people it's like this big mysterious and magical thing. So I think that's something that could be looked at as like modern art and like how people interpret beauty differently, especially now. We lost Daniel. Yeah, we just lost him. I know he.
Okay, then I'll just share my thoughts about how today might think about these readings. I think thinking about it now and after having the opportunity to discuss it more with the group and hear everyone's thoughts, I think the writings of of Kant would be more accepted today. And the reason why I think that is because in today's society, it really is up to the interpretation of the beholder, what we think is beautiful. So um, what what I think is beautiful may be different to someone else, and it's all based on your own personal interpretation. And obviously, that famous saying is "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder." I had an example of that today. So I took some of my photography. I'm a photographer, and I took it, and I consider it to be art. And I took it to someone to have a look at, and everybody in the room that looked at it had a different interpretation of what it was and whether or not it was beautiful. And at first, it hurt me because I was like, I think it's beautiful. And I was pleased that other people agreed, but then other people in the room didn't think it was beautiful. And I think based on what the Kant is trying to say in his theory is that based on your sensation, what is delightful, and their interpretation is basing their opinion on what is beautiful. And so I think that today is probably more widely accepted in how we think. Then also going back to Burke's writings and his teaching. Sorry, I had a bit of a memory blank. I do think that in today's society well, actually, maybe I take that back. If we look at things like smoothness, and let's just look at smoothness. If we look at smoothness, I think today that maybe people would oppose that not everything has to be smooth, not everything has to be nice. If we look at more modern contemporary art, not everything has to be gradient, gradual variance. If you go to a museum these days, there's a lot of metal objects, a lot of weird things that are kind of have right angles and rough edges, and people consider that to be beautiful these days. And so I think that almost opposes some of the things that Burke is talking about. So they're just some of my thoughts that I had about that. Amelia, do you have any thoughts of how the writings that we read about are different to what we consider today in the 20th century?
Yeah, I can ample for that, like how you say smoothness, and like for example, if two one and then the other one it's with full of pimple, so the beauty will just depend on how you will just look at the smoothness, and then you can say that is beauty. That is an example for like smoothness, and I need to look at one thing.
That's okay. Take your time. You're all good. Say bear. Say bear.
Oh yeah. Like one thing, it's like nowadays that we fast for the not like from back, and then there's about in is many of us. I don't know if I'm on the right.
No, you're good. You're good.
The that we that love and beauty should be beyond. Then go. I will look. Can I go next? I will look for it, please.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. You have a look for that. That's fine. It's just a discussion too, Amelia. It's okay. You just pretend that we're all sitting together and looking for our notes. It's fine. That's what this is all about. One thing I will bring up another point that I thought was really, really interesting is how Burke spoke about authority and how we love things that. Let me just look here. It said that. That like our love for our parents is even different when we're talking about beauty and love, and so that like the authority of a father almost changes our perceptions of what beauty is compared to the mother, because the authority of a mother is melted down in her fondness and indulgence. And then we have a great love for our grandfathers because this authority is removed from a degree. And so that's all based on the mind. He was using that as an example to explain like what beauty is in our mind and how we think. And I thought that was a fantastic example to show that, what we think up here in our interpretation of beauty is different. Just another thought for the class discussion. Daniel, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, man. I think my connection got lost.
That's cool. Did you what we're just discussing at the moment is we're just discussing how these writings may either agree with or disagree with today's ideas of beauty. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. So I know. Okay, so with Burke, like I agree with everything that he said, that like what he thinks is beautiful, but kind of limited the meaning of beauty article when he was talking about the real cause of beauty. Like for me, like he was talking about the sublime qualities like authority or wisdom or judgment and stuff like that, like these really strong type of qualities. And I think those things can be beautiful too. I think I agree more with Kant when he's talking about how everyone has his own taste. Like what's beautiful to one man might not be to another, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. Kant was probably the harder one to understand and read, but probably makes the most sense to us in today's modern society. Yeah.
Yeah. There was something interesting I read. I think it was Burke's. It's something I kind of agree with. He was talking about qualities of the mind, and he was talking about how kids don't really have as much love for their fathers as they do for their mothers. And it's because the fathers are like the authoritative figure,
Yeah, when you were connected with, I said the exact same thing.
Yeah, and then he talks
Isn't that
about how
fascinating?
yeah, it is. And he talks about how people have a general love for their grandpas, and it's because the authority has moved away like 1 degree from us.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Cool. Well, Amelia, if you have anything else you'd like to add, you can. If not, and everyone else is finished, I think we've discussed it pretty well. And Kimberly has got enough information to pretty much write the paper that's due. So, Emily, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No.
Okay. Thank you for your input, everyone. It's awesome. There is a paper due on Monday. I will put my hand up to do that one. The only reason is because Wednesday I'm flying back to Australia and it might be difficult for me to be able to do it. So I'm just going to take heed on the one on Monday. And then, is everyone available? Should we plan to do it at the same time on Monday, 6? Does everyone work for 6? Amelia, that's your Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, 5 p.m. for you, Daniel and Kimberly, 6 p.m. Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for the feedback. Enjoyed learning from you all. And yeah, and for when we've got to do the papers, even though we've finished talking on here, if anyone's doing it and needs help, use the Facebook.
I'll send a link to my Google Doc. That way you guys can review it before I turn it in. I'll finish it in like an hour or so, and I'll let you guys have it so you can look over it.
Okay, awesome. Amelia. Tau toko sio, eh?
Yeah.
Oko o whia kai hopa.
Ose hopa.
Hei, whia mali tahine vavau.
Kako ha kuai.
Yeah. Okay, everyone.
There's one I need to say.
You're good. That's it. We're just now. There's a paper that's due, and it's Kimberly's turn today to do it. So she's gonna do the paper today.
But I have one thing to share.
Oh yes. Then share it.
Okay. It's about the last question of why people in the media today that Burk would not think of as beautiful that some people today might think of as beautiful. There's I just took down this that nowadays people follow the style of fashions, like people think beautiful is their shocking, aggressive, and like or going too far to extreme, like
Yeah.
like the wearing less or revealing and like sleeveless things. But Burke said in his from the reading that beauty it's the softness, delicate, feminine, and not scary or not slappy. That's I just wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. You're awesome. Hey, I think it's interesting actually. Because I've been to Tonga, to where you're from. I think it's interesting that when I was there, I noticed that when the people went swimming, they always wore all their clothes, like shirt and pants.
Yeah.
And that would coincide with maybe some of the beliefs of the older days. Whereas today, when you go to the beach, people try to wear less. And
Yeah.
your definition of what looks respectable and beautiful at the beach is different to what people think today. And
Yeah.
I think what maybe these guys don't really talk about though, and maybe what changes our influence today is culture.
Yeah, that's true.
Culture today defines what is beauty as well.
Yeah, that's true. And then the behavior, and also the behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, everyone. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you on Monday. Tuesday for you,
Okay.
Amelia. Tuesday at 5. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day, evening.
Bye.